Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I'm back once again, Lounging with Lisa, the video series that has me lounging while coming at you with thoughts of the day. The reason why I'm coming at you rapidly and repeatedly today, probably driving you nuts, is because remember, I have been behind on my Lounger of the Week requests, and so I warned you ahead of time during the live gigs last weekend that I was going to be trying to, excuse me, my ears, to knock these out, throughout this week, and we're almost at, tomorrow where I have new loungers and all. So I thought that I would go ahead and fulfill another lounging request from Green Song. And I think after that I'm caught up. But if I'm not caught up, like if I've forgotten to honor you in some way, if you've been Lounger of the Week, please contact me and let me know so that I can make sure that I get it done. I don't like being behind like this. So Green Song had written to me in an email and mentioned that, basically with the world and the uproar and turmoil that it is currently, to maybe talk about different ways of working as a community, bartering, maybe food preparation and stuff like that. Now, I'm not a total expert on this, but I do have some skills, I think. First of all, it's sort of cute because I did see a Facebook meme the other week where it showed a shelf full of canning materials, the canning that you do, and tomatoes and whatnot were stored in the mason jars. And it went something like, people used to just call this canning, but now it's called prepping or being a prepper. And I guess some people have gotten teased about being a prepper or whatever, but I think it's just the change in language that makes people clutch pearls, I guess. I don't see anything wrong with being prepared, and if you're called a prepper, oh well. But evidently some people, they're too highfalutin and la-di-da to think in a different manner, really. A lot of closed-minded people. Okay, Perpetual has been a gardener for many years, and he took couple years off recently. We went back to it last year and did some canning. So I guess what I would recommend for people is if you can even do some indoor growing of tomatoes or what have you, look into that, because the thing with the outdoor, or if you have a place where you can do the outdoor gardening, that's fine. I'm not an expert. Basil Peterson would be your real expert on this because he lives off the grid and they live off the food they grow and the eggs that are their little ladies lay. It's not sweet. So, but I'm just going, for me, Lisa, the woman who gave the Lounger of the Week award out. So this is the deal. If you have a plot of land on which you can put a garden, that's delightful. And of course, whatever your favorite things, your favorite vegetables and so on and so forth. The thing that is very disturbing to me is how all over the world people have been coming out positive for that glyphosate that's a key ingredient in the Roundup made by Monsanto. It's almost super hard to avoid, and I know that some people have gone to different lengths in order to maybe avoid that floating onto their produce that they're growing by putting up, makeshift kind of canopies and stuff like that. But whatever the case may be, try to do it maybe away from a farmer's region, because they're spraying that stuff all over the place. But that's what I would recommend as doing, growing your own food, clearly. Also, like I'm prepared always, not necessarily for the end of the world or anything, but I used to get kind of teased because I was into safety big time, like while riding horses, I had a signal. Joe, the pony, was always in the lead because he was very frisky and wanted to be in the lead. Never would he walk, he always trotted or galloped, those were his two speeds. So, hang on another minute, wait. Ear is clogged. So if I were leading, which I always did, we'd be galloping along and I'd raise my arm up, and that meant that I was fixing to stop so that we didn't collide. So I'm always, safety first. So when I used to go camping every weekend of my life, putting me in debt to the point that I am right now because it wasn't free, I would go hiking all the time and I would be very prepared, even though it was a well-beaten path. It wasn't like I was going off into the wilderness, but a few times I was out of the county and by myself and just in the woods by myself. But in my backpack, I had something that I had gotten on eBay, I believe, and I'm sure it's available in different prepper stores or what have you, but they're tablets that purify any kind of water. I think that's the key thing to do, ladies and gentlemen, is to make sure that your water is drinkable and so forth, because that is a big issue in this day and age. We're very lucky because we have a well here and it's been tested and all that jazz, and we still filter. We have one on the sink and then one that goes through a filtering system, a jug of water that we can use. But I think it's important to have a bag that's kind of handy with maybe some sort of dried fruits. You know, they make those freeze-dried fruits, or you can even learn to do that yourself. I think Joel used to have a dehydrator. I think that's what it's called. If I'm not right, you know, forgive me. This is not my area of expertise. And those Maxwell House used to make really good, what would they have been called? Freeze-dried meals, I guess. A very big selection. They last for like 25 years on a shelf. They're in a bag, and all you have to do is add boiling water. They have breakfast foods. They have, like at camp, I used to make spaghetti dinner, and it's for 2 people really, but I would have one portion the one night, and then the next day for lunch I'd have it, or what have you. So I think those would be good to have if you can afford it. If not, there's different ways to do stuff yourself. I think the machinery that's needed is kind of expensive, but it would more or less be a one-time purchase, wouldn't it? So anyhow, tablets to purify water. I have a bunch of different things in that bag, like one of those sleeping bags that's real lightweight. It looks like it's from outer space. It's, you know, like silver, almost aluminum foil looking, but it's thermal type thing. I have one of those in there. I have an emergency tent. It's just one of those tube tents that you just need, and it comes with a rope, across a tree, you know, a couple of trees, and then inside you can lay your stuff in the corners to keep out of the weather. I think it's important to maybe have one of those backpacks ready to go, at least, you know, with some freeze-dried food and some water purification tablets and stuff like that. I hope that this is what you requested, Green Song. I really enjoy having you in the lounge, and I appreciate this interesting subject you wanted me to talk about, even though I'm not super good at it. Like I said, perpetual, my brother always jokes and says, or doesn't joke, but in a way, if something major happens, you know, with nuclear war, I don't know what, where you want to be is in the lap of Perpetual, because he can live off the land, he can hunt, he can fish, he can do all that stuff. You know, from stem to stern. And whatever he does hunt, like, you know, deer hunting, he uses all of the deer. So, and he also thanks it in a certain way, you know how they used to, and the natives and stuff. He doesn't just go out murdering stuff. In fact, the last few years, Perpetual hasn't really gotten a deer. He's been, I don't want to say having second thoughts on it, but he's been reflecting on it a little bit more. It's real cute, but we need some venison. So, all right, that's all. Launching with Lisa, the video series, and as me launching while coming at you with thoughts of the day. Please join me, join others. Drop your political identities. Let's focus on issues. Leave labels at the door. Research before you judge. And remember, War is a Racket by General Smedley Butler. And while I have you, if I have forgotten anybody in terms of the Lounger of the Week awards, let me know and I'll get it done. But as far as I know right now, I'm totally caught up at this time. So I will be naming a couple of loungers tomorrow. What else did I want to say? I guess that's all. Yeah, because Mark Damon had requested that I videotape, do a video of cats on the porch. And I did the other day, so he's even caught up. And that was from the winter when he got his Lounger of the Week. The prestigious award that is Lounger of the Week. Okay, that's all. Love you.